Web 3.0, what is it actually, why should care, and what kind of huge impact the current development and Web 3.0 is going to have on a personal life? All of those questions I'm going to answer in this video. Hi, my name is Ruslan. I'm a student in Management Information Systems in Berlin, and like always, if you have enjoyed this video, then I would say subscribe right now. Let's start with one of the most important questions. What is actually Web 3.0? And the shocking fact is that right now there is no clear definition what Web 3.0 actually is. I know, you're definitely a fan of Web 3.0. You also have a feeling that Metaverse is about to be created. Also, Google is creating their own Metaverse. IBM is creating their own Metaverse. And I definitely think that on the consumer side, the people have the feeling that those companies definitely know what Web 3.0 actually is, but to be honest, those companies even don't know themselves what it is. Of course, they spend like millions of dollars in different types of experiments to create a product or service, and at the current stage, those types of experiments are only needed to understand what type of product and service the customer base is actually looking for, so they can promote their own product under the name of Web 3.0. But I can definitely tell you that the Web 3.0 has some types of attributes which give us like a clear imagination in which kind of direction we are actually going with this type of progress. So the first attribute of the Web 3.0 is that the next generation of semantic websites are supported by an AI. So this is actually not a new idea. So if you ever have heard of the called term of SEO, if you're like a content creator, you would definitely have heard about it. So what is actually SEO? So you have to imagine you have like a blog post, and inside this blog post we have different types of hashtags, and depending on those hashtags, the AI decides how good the article actually is. But with the current state of the so-called Web 2.0 we have right now, those websites, those informations on those websites are easily to manipulate. So make it like a small example to make it more understandable. Imagine you are about to buy a product in Google, and the first thing you do, of course, is to search the type of product you want to, or you search about the company, and in the most common cases you will definitely find some positive reviews about this company, and everybody's telling like, hey, this is the best product I've ever had, this is the best service I've ever had in my life. But the reality is that those types of ratings can be easily manipulated by wrong ratings. So with this type of the new AI supported websites which are based on a blockchain, it is much more difficult to make false ratings, for example. And on the other side, if someone has the interest right now to spread wrong information to the website, through the internet, he or she also has like the easy possibility to do so. But with the so-called AI supported websites in Web 3.0, it will be much difficult to do so. But we have to see this development as something positive, of course, but also we can see it as a negative side effect, because actually the AI decides for you what type of information is correct and what type of information is wrong. And this is especially like difficult development, because you have to understand that some types of opinions can be controversial, and because those types of opinions are controversial, it doesn't mean that they have to be necessarily wrong. But depending on the AI of the new generation of AI which decides if this information is right or wrong, it can easily happen that controversial ideas, which are also important for the development in our society, sometimes can be marked as wrong, and those types of opinions can be lost. And that is the reason why I personally think that if the AI is taking away the decision making for us as an individual to decide this information is necessary for me or not, it can also be easily manipulated, the AI, by constructing opinions which don't have to be necessarily right. So on the one hand, yeah, it is good that false information can be easily spotted with the new generation of AI on the semantic websites, but on the other side, those AI is deciding for you what's right or wrong, and that is the reason why we have to take care that not every development on the Web 3.0 has to be necessarily a positive one. The second attribute of the Web 3.0 is that the Web 3.0 is decentralized. decentralized. So I'm also giving like a good example to make you clear why a decentralized web is important. For example, you're actually watching a video about the topic of Web 3.0. During watching this video right now on YouTube, for example, the AI is watching about the user behavior. So the AI is measuring the time, how much time are you actually spending on this video, have you interacted with this video, for example, you have subscribed right now to the channel, or you have left a comment, or you even have liked this video. And depending on which type of behavior you have left during this video, the AI will decide for you that after you have finished this video, for example, that the next video should be related somehow with Web 3.0. So it can easily happen right now that when I finish this video, the next upcoming video is related to cryptocurrency probably, or it is related to NFTs, or it is probably related to blockchain development. The thing is that the AI on YouTube is not only measuring a user behavior, but YouTube is actually making money from you based on the user behavior. So for example, if I have the interest to support my videos via creating ads, for example, then I can decide, hey, I want to have the special target group with this special type of age, with this special type of location, with this special type of technology, and more videos are going to be recommended to you because you are already interested in those types of topics. Let's call it Web 3.0. And let's be honest, I personally hope that YouTube is going to recommend more and more of my videos. So for me as a creator, it is of course a positive development when the AI decides for me what kind of audience is interesting to my videos. But for you as a consumer, for example, it can also have a negative side effects, because the YouTube algorithm is actually also measuring a user behavior, and for people who have the interest to make money with a user behavior, they can pay YouTube, and therefore you will see in the upcoming videos probably some web ads from crazy coaches who are promising you to give you billions of dollars if you buy their course, if you sell their NFT products or whatever. And this is actually how the algorithm, the AI on YouTube works. But when the Web 3.0 becomes more decentralized, it means for you that you will enjoy a much bigger anonymity in the web space, and even for the AI of YouTube, for example, it will be much more difficult to spot the user behavior, and therefore it will be a little bit more difficult for YouTube to sell the user informations to big corporations. So the third attribute of the Web 3.0 is so-called the Ubiquitous Computing. So you also probably have heard about it under the name of Internet of Things. So imagine you have like an Alexa in a room, and you have connected this Alexa with other smart devices in the room, let's say with your television. So every time you go home, you can tell your Alexa, hey, every time I enter my room, please turn on my television, or turn on my radio, or turn on my PC, or whatever type of smart device you want to have to connect it to Alexa. And another example would be, for example, let's say you want to cook a meal for your girlfriend, you want to surprise her, but you're currently at work and you're actually not sure if you have the right ingredients in your freezer. So you could, for example, get in contact with your freezer, and you can ask your freezer, hey, I want to do this type of meal, do I have the right ingredients? And the freezer will tell you, for example, hey, you are missing with vegetables. And you can say your freezer, okay, hello smart freezer, please buy some vegetables and send it back to my home via Uber Eats. So it means for you that Internet of Things is nothing more than having actually smart devices in your room which are connected with each other, which are constantly being in contact with each other, we're constantly communicating with each other, and it will save you as a consumer a lot of time to use those smart devices. But the negative side of this current development with the Web 3.0 is that the more you have those smart devices in your room, the easier it is, for example, to give access people you don't want to have in a room. So for example, if someone is hacking your Alexa, if he wants to, he can currently hear and probably also see what you're actually doing in your room. And the more devices you have in a room, the easier it is for those type of people to hack into your room, and you're not even going to recognize it. And this is of course a current state of development we have to see more critical. So the last attribute is the decentralized social networks. Probably you have heard about it. I think a couple months ago Elon Musk had the idea to purchase Twitter under one condition. He wanted to know how many fake users Twitter actually have. And so he came to the conclusion that probably around 20% of all the users on Twitter are actually fake bots. And this is somehow also similar to the studies the University of South Carolina and the University of Indiana have done in the year 2017, when they came to the conclusion that probably between 9 to 50% of all the Twitter users are fake users actually. So we have to imagine, if we take like an average number, let's say of 10%, and if we take a close look how many daily active users Twitter have. For example, they have currently about day-to-day users around 230 million users all around the world, and if we take 10% of them, we can easily say that day-to-day currently 20 million users are actually fake bots. And the problem with those fake bots are that those fake bots are actually manipulating informations. They also can construct an opinion people don't have, and it also can be a dangerous development, especially when it comes, for example, elections. So the idea behind the decentralized social networks is that those social networks are based on the blockchain technology, and I also have done about the video which is called blockchain development, where I already explained that it is really hard to manipulate the blockchain development, and therefore it is also really hard to create fake bots on those blockchain development. And the thing, even if it sounds good, even if you say, hey, I really don't want that fake bots are creating false opinions in our society, we also have to see this type of development also a little bit critical, because also one idea how we can avoid as a society that wrong opinions are created by fake bots is by verifying every user on the internet. And therefore it is also against the idea that everyone has to be or has the right to be anonymous on the internet. So what does it mean? For example, if you don't like this video and if you say, hey, this dude behind the camera is actually telling everything wrong, I want to write like a bad comment. So for me in the future, because everyone is verified as a user also on YouTube, for example, it would be easier to know who is actually writing those comments, and therefore I can easily also find the person behind those comments if I really want to, for example. But you see, therefore those types of developments have definitely positive side effects, but current development we have to ask them if they are good for our development. So if you have enjoyed this video till this point on, I can definitely say that you have enjoyed this video, and if you want to support the small channel, leave a like, leave a comment, or even subscribe to this channel. You would help me a lot. And like always, thank you very much for watching this video. Vielen Dank fürs Zuschauen. We're gonna see us in the next video. Peace.